We've got one for him. What a rod. Beautiful rod, just taking out that strain. Look at that, a snaggy spot as well. You don't want to give too much. You can give it all that. Fantastic. Okay. So you've just seen trundling a piece of meat, and that was minute for minute, live as it was. We just fed a bit of meat, set ourselves up with this setup that really is so simple, but yet such a pure way to fish your bait. What we're going to do is we're going to talk through how to get the best out of our new touch ledgers. I'm going to show you a few tips on how to really make them perform for you. And once you get this style of fishing and you start to have a go, really, it will change your fishing, because it is absolutely fantastic. There isn't a sort of fishing that's so pure, so simple, yet so effective. So let's get this beauty photographed, and then we'll have a look at how we do it. Okay, so that's the first fish today on the trundled meat with the new touch ledger. Fed for a bit, rigged ourselves up, and straight away we got one. Beautiful 7 barbel. So we're here this morning to talk about touch ledgering. Korum have brought out this little touch ledger now, really for trundling meat, bread, cheese paste, baits like that. It's an alternative to float fishing. Very much not a static ledger tactic, it's actually working the swim through. We're going to get in the water and we'll show you how to get the best out of it in a little while. All I'm doing now is showing you how I set it up. I mean, it's simplicity in itself. So I've got my main line, Korum barbel line, down to one of our quick change beads. In the rear end of the bead, where you tie your main line on, I've also tied a little weak link, so that's £3 line down to the touch ledger. And that's quite important because we want that fixed. The weak link will break if we get a fish and it takes off, or get stuck in weed, or get stuck in rocks. And then we've got our £8 smokescreen hook link, size 8 power hook, and a meat screw. Like I said, simplicity, and that is it. Absolutely nothing else needed. Okay, so as I said about this being fixed, just to explain, the main reason we want this fixed is we want the main line to come down. This little touch ledger rides along the bottom. A hook link extends like that to our piece of meat. And what happens is, as we control this steadily down through the swim, just tripping the bottom, which we can feel, our bait just sits above the bottom, almost as though a natural piece of meat's rolling through the swim. I'll explain it as I go down the swim and show you how to fish it, but basically underwater that's what's happening. The thing is with this clever little touch ledger is plastic coating, it's got air inside, and then it's got equivalent to 2 SSG shot down below, weight down below. So that weight sits on the bottom, just like that. And as it bounces down the swim, if you hold the line or the rod, you will feel it trip, 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 trip across the stones. Now what that also does is if you've got big boulders or jagged boulders, different size rocks, it stops this controller. If you do it with split shot and it's a rocky bottom, the split shot goes straight in, fall in between the stones, straight away you're snagged. But with this, because it's got air in and it trips, it allows us to feel the swim, feel where the bait is in the swim, and just maneuver that bait through the swim just like a natural piece of meat flowing through with no line, no hook, no weight on it. So it's not static, it's not fish ledger style, not rod up in the air. It's actual using the rod using the technique of tripping it through the swim. And really, trust me, if you try this and you catch fish doing this, you will struggle to sit behind a pair of rods and static rods doing nothing, because this is fishing full style adrenaline. So let's have a go, see how we get on. Okay, so I'm going to fish this swim down now with a touch ledger. I'm going to talk you through how I use it, but just on the run up to fishing it, I'm just flicking in just a steady stream, unused pellets and a bit of cube luncheon meat with my favourite liver powder on. Just all I want, just every 30 seconds or so, or minute, it's just a piece of meat just rolling through the swim, or a pellet, giving off, or both. I like different variation, just giving off, you know, its flavour and its scent, letting them barbel just move across the swim, just picking up a little bit here and a little bit there. And as I fish, I keep doing it. And now I'm going to go through with the touch ledger, set up exactly as we just talked about. No different, simplicity in itself. So let's have a fish, see what we get. As I do it, I'll talk about what I'm doing and why. So when I flick the touch ledger in, I'm going to put it upstream, because what I want to do is I want to trap my bait down. So first off, fairly close to where I am, I'll put my finger on the line and just, I can feel that with the rod. Just tap, tap, tap. I don't want to put any pressure on it with the rod. Let a little bit line out. Coming round, coming round, coming round. Just feel, I can feel the stones just tap, tap, tap. Once I get downstream of me, if I then hold it tight, that'll bring that up the bottom. So I don't want that to happen when I'm fishing it. What I want it to do is I want it to trap the bottom like a natural piece of meat. Rolling down, flicking it upstream. Rod eye, watching that line. I can see that line and I can feel the trip, trip, trip. I can feel the stones, I can feel the weed. And I'm either waiting for that line to just stop, jag sideways, or I feel that bite. As soon as it's downstream of me like that, there's any pressure on the line, it lifts that bait off the bottom. You let that swing round, you can see it come round and onto the top. And all I'm doing each time is taking a little pace downstream and just going a little further. So I fish further and further across the river. That's fishing lovely there. That's a little deeper there, you can feel that. Got to be in the bite zone there. So like I say, once it's down below you, once it's come down below you, and it's the length of the line that you're fishing above, down, so we're fishing like that to there. Once it's there, just bring it back and do it again. And what we do is as we move down the swim, we systematically fish each piece of water. Don't feel like you've got to fish the whole swim in one go. Just keep feeding a bit upstream. Keep that interest in the fish. Remember, give it plenty of time upstream so the bait sinks down. You've got to take the bait sinks down to the water and then it starts moving along the bottom. If I just throw a piece of meat in here, I can watch that. Can watch that and track that down, track that down, track that down, so you can get the general gist of how long it takes for that bait to get down the swim and where you are. All the time that's going down, I'm watching the line and feeling the line. So you might think braid would do this a lot better, I'd feel a lot more. Yes, and in effect you won't be wrong, but what I found if you use braid for this is you get in a lot more snags. the actual thickness of mono just gives you that, it helps move it all down through the swim. Oh, yeah. Okay, if you feel it stop like that, that's in weed. Just a gentle flick. If it ever is a fish, as soon as you flick it, you'll be away. So I'm trapping the line with my finger, watching the line go down, feeling the line go down. It's almost like the fly fishermen do with the chet nymph. So you're literally just, but you're very, very controlled in what you're doing. That's beautiful. I can feel that tripping over the bottom. That's fishing absolutely perfect. If you're casting this miles upstream, miles downstream, long distances, you're not going to be fishing it effectively. So like today, the river's got a little more pace on. We've had a lot of rain lately. It's come up. A lot of people wouldn't even fish this method in the big heavy feeders today. But no, we're still able. Oh, there was a bite. We're still able to just trundle a bait through really effectively, just by adjusting the amount of distance we cast upstream. So the heavier the flow, the more I'm putting it upstream, and probably the less distance I'm fishing. But when I'm fishing it very effectively. One thing about this sort of fishing though, it's so engaging. It's so engaging. The other thing that's great about it is with a float, I'd be constantly adjusting it. With this, it goes to the bottom. It fishes the bait constantly where the fish are and where the free bait is.